For the final deck profile this week, it's looking at an insectoid build. While my primary focuses for this week have all been green decks, the commonality of it is that green is the only allowed color for Double Typhoon pre-release and for green tournaments in the month of March. But without further ado, let's look at the last and final list for this week. Motimon is the sole level 2 for this deck, because I want to be able to get that pseudo blitz end of turn. You see, the point of this deck is once you get your top end, you can play an option card like Super Shocker to suspend, then attack over your opponent's Digimon. This sets up your Shivamon so that they cannot play option cards like Double Typhoon, Agility Training, or even Green Memory Boost. This also lets you chip away with herculeskabuterimon if you're going the beatdown route and piercing over. For level 3s, Kokuwamon acts as a memory return when you attack and delete one of your opponent's Digimon on your turn. Meaning when you suspend an attack at the end of your turn with Motimon, and you delete a Digimon and survive, you can pull it back one memory to choke your opponent to 2, or even 1 memory. Tentomon's Inheritable does the same thing, but has the added bonus of being able to buff any insectoid Digimon through your opponent's turn by 3000 DP, and it's all turns. Of course, you're running pomumons for the floodgate action, and 2 terriermons for playing Izzy for a cost of 2. These aren't too impactful and you could substitute them out, but I wanted some ways to play my Tamers for a cheaper cost. If you anticipate players bringing in lots of ways to gain memory, BT3 Terriermon might also be needed. But everything after this is an insectoid Digimon except of course, Quartzmon. Kabuterimon has an identical inheritable to Tentomon, but also has an all turns effect that while this Digimon is suspended, it is unaffected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon. The best part? This Digimon, Megakabuterimon Ace, and herculeskabuterimon are all unaffected by Quartzmon's effect, while they are suspended, meaning these Digimon can still unsuspend at the beginning of your turn and contribute to final checks and security. Do keep in mind though, this is specifically your opponent's Quartzmon. If you play your own, you will lock yourself out as well. For the remaining level 4s, I went with Kuwagamon for the stunning of your opponent's Digimon and DP buffs, along with Snimon as a security deterrent when my opponent goes wide, or has Digimon effects that could unsuspend their Digimon. Level 5 wise, there are a few ways to go about this. For this build, I want to maintain the control and redirects to my Digimon, because while it is suspended, megakabuterimon Ace could block 12,000 DP Digimon if it's buffed by Tentomon or Super Shocker and then its own effect. Other effects by Digimon wouldn't affect it. The starter deck variant though can be utilized in combination with the top end to delete Digimon to trash them without triggering any value, whether it be a Tamer or an option card. But if you really wanted to, Promo Kokuwamon and Kokuwamon X are also options that can provide you some memory return. But one problem I have with Promo Kokuwamon is that because you Digivolve over it, it is very easy for you or your opponent to completely forget the effect, as it's now covered. For level 6s, I went with Shivamon and herculeskabuterimon from BT15. Herculeskabuterimon provides you some aggression, considering that even in the face of Quartzmon you can still unsuspend with its all turns effect. Shivamon on the other hand is to deter all forms of option cards on your opponent's turn, pending that all of your Digimon are suspended. But the best part is you can utilize option cards or other Digimon effects to suspend first, Digivolve into this Digimon, and then end of turn with Motimon's effect attack over their Digimon to maintain the suspended position. But of course, the top end for this deck goes to Quartzmon. To counter the wider building boards and the Quartzmon mirror play, you can play your own. But remember, this will lock your own herculeskabuterimon from unsuspending. Option card wise, Super Shocker is honestly very convenient. Being an option card that can suspend one level 6 Digimon then buffing could be a great consideration if your opponent tries to out-aggro you with Heavy Leomon only to run into this first, and then give you an ample DP now to redirect and survive. Agility Training of course for finding your Tamers and Digimon. But you could potentially go into Green Memory Boost for the extra memory. And finally, Tamers in the form of Izzy Azumi for the memory fixing and redirects into your insectoid Digimon. Shivamon? Oh baby. Considering if you have Tentomon and Kabuterimon in the Digivolution sources as well, a deletion of a Digimon via block through this method is a 2 memory return. In some ways I wanted to up Izzy Azumi to 3, but it feels like 2 is the right spot. Who knows? I could be wrong. Realistically, the goal of this deck is to just climb up to your Shivamon as much as possible, attack over your opponent's Digimon, and minimize the value they get on their security. What are your thoughts on Shiva Control? And do you think Control is the way to go with insectoid Digimon? Or do you think you'll be going back to Unga Bunga bugs in the form of Grandis Kuwagamon? Let me know your thoughts as I take a break for the weekend. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.